Hello, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Terracan Value, we're happy to host this event for you today. We're glad also to welcome our speaker, Pavel Veinik. Let's all be active and engaged listeners today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Pavel, and I'll be speaking today about the journey of junior and middle engineer. I'll share my presentation now. Please tell in the chat if you can see it. And also, I'm sharing the direct link in the chat so that you can view it directly. So, first of all, I will tell something about me, why I have the right to speak about juniors and middle engineers, and then I'll tell how to become a software engineer without any like dependencies like courses or even companies. Then I will go to the job market for junior engineers, and also how to grow from junior to mid-level engineer. After that, I will briefly observe Kazakhstan IT market and the place of junior inside it. And then I will answer all the questions you will send in the chat or 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 ask me. Okay, I see some messages here visible. Thank you, Alihan. So my name is Pavel. I'm a Java engineer since very long time. I was teaching engineers since also for a long time, since 2008. I taught like about 1,000 engineers from scratch to their first jobs. And then I started to teach architects in 2018. So for now, I taught like about 300 or 400 technical leaders, staff engineers, and architects. I consult companies and I mentor CTOs, architects, and engineers, and I see in details how the career of software engineer changes with time. Regarding my own developer experience, I played different roles. First of all, of course, I'm an engineer, but I also was a CTO in some companies. I was a solution architect in like in Miro. I made the core backend part of Miro. And since the time I like this product and I use it. And I founded Hard and Soft Skills. It is a center of expertise for IT. We conduct different events, and also we teach not only architects, but also middles and seniors. First of all, I would like to share with you my view how to become a programmer from zero if you have no money for courses, or if you have if you do not know how to choose a course or something like this. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. So first of all, there is a very surprising news for you. That first of all, you need to understand why you want to join IT, because now it is rather difficult. And if you do not understand and realize your motivation very well, you will not succeed. This is first of all. If you spend more than 2 months and you do not understand still why do you want to join IT, that means that you do not want, and it is either too frightening, or you doubt, you have some doubts, or you have some pressure for this, and so on. You should be balanced, and you should understand how what IT may give you, and do you have any talent or any motivations? Why do you want to join? During these 2 months, please do not make some impulsive buyings. Do not enroll in different courses, but just be exact and be specific with your motivation. This is your fuel in a very long and very difficult journey of becoming a software engineer. And I will now tell you what steps do you need to do this. After you understand why you need to become a software engineer, then I will tell you next thing, next step. When the engineer makes his job, he reads a lot of different books and architects through his career. And technical reading is a very important skill you need to master. And I think that this skill is the first to understand and to learn. If you just can read a word or a sentence, that does not mean that you can understand what you read, and you can operate it, and you can reason with it. And only mathematicians and bookkeepers can really read exactly what is written and what is meant. All other people, they cannot, they just miss something, or they just introduce their own ideas into what they have just read. And a very good method to master reading is first grade textbook on any mathematical theory. You need to read it, understand, and make the exercises. It sounds rather surprising, and it sounds rather silly. Mathematics is not programming, but mathematics is very strict. You need to understand and remember each small detail of any formula, of any mathematical reasoning. And if you do not, you cannot just solve problems. It is just the same with engineering. If you do not understand all the details, you cannot solve problems. It is easier to master reading using mathematics than using engineering like articles or books. So my first advice is to learn how to read. It is strange, but I spend a lot of time teaching people how to read and how to reason about what they have read. And after that, they could learn programming just themselves almost without my assistance. And they could learn any language or any technology. After you master this reading skill, you will be very very exact with your phrases, because now you understand that any phrase, any word has its own meaning, and you cannot use it just how you want. You need to use it how it means. Well, there are some like pitfalls on this way, mastering reading. Self-esteem is starting to be an object of a doubt, because it is not so easy like it sounds, but it is okay. You need just to go forward. Also, you cannot apply mathematical logic to personal relations, because it is not so productive. So the next thing you need to master is logic. Mathematics is not exactly logic. These are two different things. There is a very good book on symbolic logic by Lewis Carroll. It is very interesting, and I suggest you to go through this book and to do some exercises from it, so that you can understand what is symbolic logic. It is about formulas, it is about meanings, and programming language is based on this symbolic language. Any programming, any technology, anything in IT. And if you can master it, it is very easy to learn any programming language. After these two steps, reading and logically thinking, you will start to feel that your everyday habits are changing, because you find a better way to do different things in your everyday life. And you start to understand that books, advertisements, anything contain different mistakes and different inconsistencies and different double meanings, double messages even, and it is okay. It is intended on this on this way. And another very important result of this step is that you can reason some complex concepts in your mind silently and quickly, and give away different conclusions, and other people may see this as you just improved your memory skill, but you do not remember this conclusion, you just compute it on the fly. And sometimes you may have some conflicts even with your family and colleagues, because you suggest new ways to do different things, and they sometimes do not like it. But on this way, you may see different pitfalls, like I am too stupid or I am too smart. These both phrases are wrong. It is a very beginning of the journey. And do not again use logical thinking in personal relations. It will spoil them. After this step, it is also not very obvious step, but it is starting a new model of thinking and new model of reasoning inside your head. And after this, you may start to learn programming. On this phase, you do not need actually any course. You do not need actually any specific language or so. Just take a language which is popular, Python, Java, .NET, or something like this. Just review the curricula of different courses, create your own curriculum, and find a textbook, any online resource, which explains different meanings, different concepts of programming from scratch. It will be easy for you to read and understand it because you can read and you can logically think. And this step can take some time. Sometimes it is 2 months, sometimes it is even half a year or even more. But you need to go through this book straightforward and understand and try everything. It is not so important which exact book you select. There are only 2 criteria. It should be interesting for you. This book should be interesting and clear and understandable for you. And it should be from zero, from scratch, so that you are not based on some preliminary knowledge, just from the very beginning. And during these months of learning, of understanding, of trying different approaches in your code, you will learn how to program, how to use different tools and technologies, and you will want to search for some like explanations or some additional information outside the book, and it is very good. It is like by design, it is intended. And of course, you will see some errors and inconsistencies in this book and in all the materials you read, because it is okay, because it is made by people and every people make mistakes, and we as engineer, we understand how these mistakes are made. Do not jump from the first chapter of the book to the third or to the fifth chapter, because it will spoil your way and it will be too difficult for you. Just go small step by small step. And when you will understand that you can do this and it is rather simple, do not be too confident, because it is still only the beginning. And after this book, you will logically go to such tools as Docker, compilers, usage of AI, and something like this. I would not suggest you to learn programming using AI, because first of all, it makes many mistakes, and the second, you need to master this logical thinking inside your head first. Otherwise, AI will not help. And only after you have a very confident, very logical way of reasoning, after that, you may use AI as a tool. But this AI should not be the base of your thinking. It should be just one of many tools. And only in this case, you will be growing as an engineer. Do you have any questions for now? I do not see any questions in the chat, but if you have, please share. Okay, everything is clear. Okay, I specifically do this these steps without any references to courses or to books. I'm not affiliated with any of them except my own hard soft skills, but it is for experienced engineers. And I show you how to make this programming skill from scratch and independently and for free. It is not so easy, but if you have this like decision and you have some time, some free time to do this, is possible. When I was teaching from scratch, I taught people to read and to reason logically on the material of programming, but when I show you these independent steps, it is better to use mathematics or direct book for logic first, and only then to go to programming. So this is the path. After you master this book and everything is clear or everything is understandable, you will naturally go to different sites, different communities, forums, chats, and communicate with other people who learn programming, and also with people who are already software engineers. And it is very good to ask them about different like technology questions, how to do this or this. Is this code good? Is this design good? Or is it beautiful or not? Why it is bad? Why it is not? And so on, so on. After that, you will have a very difficult task to find the first job. Now, there is a correction of labor market in IT in the world, and only some countries, one of them is Kazakhstan, is blooming in IT now. But I think that in 3-4 years, the Kazakhstan IT market, labor market, will join the world trends, and it will be also not so like fast growing. For this, it is just a game of numbers. You need to try, and do this again in the game. Send about, I don't know, 100, 500 CVs, improve your CVs, and try to find a company which would like to invest in your further development as an engineer. I do not list these steps because a lot of resources, they tell how to do this, and most of them very most of them are correct. And I would like to tell you about very important detail. You need to network, to create your own network of engineers, to become friends with them, to ask them to help you with some problems, or to ask them possibly to bring your CV to the recruiters in their companies, and so on. It is very important to be in the community of engineers. Extremely important. You cannot go further without this community. It is about meetups. It is about personal communications. It is about problem solving. It is about references, and it is about better CV, and so on and so on. It is about possibilities. So I will not just copy this advice from different resources to here, because they are naturally correct. And after you become an engineer, you need just to spend at least 1 year in your first company, and every day after your job, you need to spend one more hour or more to learn something, to analyze your working day, to ask yourself what could be done better, and to learn to ask your friends, engineers, how to implement different things better. And this will be the end of your like motivation of joining IT, because you actually will join. When I taught programming from scratch, I taught different people with different jobs, questions. For project management, what materials would you recommend for project management in IT? Is this a good starting point? For example, like becoming a QA engineer? Well, I cannot recommend any good materials for project management in IT, because nowadays most managers in IT are former engineers. They first you need to become an engineer, and then probably after you become a senior engineer, you want to join like another company as a manager, or become a team lead and then engineering manager. And you cannot become engineering manager without engineering background. So I do not recommend to look at project management in IT without engineering background. It will be too difficult, and it is close to impossible. So I'm an engineer myself. I like engineering, and I advise you to become an engineer also. If you, of course, like it. If you do not like doing these small things, small details, and doing the things work, that means that probably this is not your path. Becoming a QA engineer is a better choice, as for me, and by my experience and the experience of people who joined IT like for some last years. First of all, QA engineer is an engineer, but you need to know much less amount of things to become a QA engineer, and that means then competition is always bigger for QA engineer location job than for engineering job. And also, after you become a QA engineer, you may become automation QA engineer, learn programming, and so on. But the salary of even experienced automation QA is less, much less than of senior engineer. But if you want to become a manager in IT later, QA engineer is a very good point, because QA engineer needs to communicate much, needs to understand process very well, and this may naturally lead to management. Of course, you understand people, you can talk to them, you understand process, you can change them. You are almost an engineer, a manager. So, Volhan, is my answer clear? How to choose direction in IT? Tamerlan, the best way is based on your personal desires. What do you like to do and what you don't like to do? If you choose programming and you do not like programming, your life will become a nightmare. I have seen such people. They are very like average, not so good engineers. Of course, yes, they get their salaries, but they will be never promoted because they just do not like their job. They are not inspired by all these problems. And so this is the first point. If you like to test things, if you like to break things, possibly you want to become a QA engineer, like quality assurance. If you like to talk to people, then again, first quality assurance engineer, and then probably grow to manager or product owner. And if you like to create things, and it is very important for you to see what you create and to make it beautiful. It is about front end. So everything should be like exact, beautiful by specification, and you need to program it. This is about front end, because backend engineers, they really differ. They like another psychology than front end engineer. Backend is about they do not we as backend engineer, I do not care about the front end, the UI, the beauty of the application, and even sometimes even the users, because I like things I do. Most people will not understand the things, but I like them, and that's it. For front-end engineer, motivation is a little bit different. They like to create beautiful things, and this is the difference. And if you go to front end, that means that it is like CSS, JavaScript, and so on, so on, so on. QA, ML, and Cloud Ops are the best starting point. ML is exactly not the best starting point. Cloud Ops is exactly not the best starting point, because for ML you need to have mathematical or something like this background, and you also need to understand programming and data and so on. Cloud Ops means that you understand not only programming but some kind of some points of architecture, system design, and it is rather like it is too much for the first step. I would suggest to join as engineer, because it is the competition is less than for QA, and you need to, but and from engineer like point, you may join any like any specialty. ML, okay. DevOps, okay. Cloud Ops, okay. Anything else, okay. And you will have a choice. As a QA, it is more difficult but possible also. So I think this is my answer. Yes. Okay. I will proceed with my presentation. Please ask questions in the chat. I will look at it from time to time. The valuable steps are the following. Understand your motivation. And so you need to be very inspired and very confident. I will do this. I will spend next year learning and trying to join IT, and then you need to learn how to read, and then you need to learn logic, and then you need to learn programming. If you go by the steps, it is a slow path, but you will not miss any important milestones. And it is very important not to miss them, otherwise you will be stuck at some point later. And this will be very painful, and this may ruin all your motivation and spoil your career and so on. So I'm moving to the next part, job market. Very contradictory situation now. The world job market is like under correction. It is going down. There is a hype of AI, and some investigations, they tell that AI will replace humans, engineers. Some say that no, AI makes development process longer, it is not so profitable, and it is only usable for a very small type of tasks, and so on. A lot of contradictions. But for junior, what is important? First of all, the requirements for a junior engineer, they are increasing, and they're increasing quickly. And you need not only to know how to create simple code, you need to know also some other tools. First, Docker, of course, different tools like Maven for Java or whatever. I will not list them now. They are specific for each language and technology. And and you need to understand the basics of system design, databases, and so on and so on. And also the number of job postings decreased and in the world. And for now, it is not so easy to join the IT. It is easier in Kazakhstan because it has a local trend for IT growth. And lucky you, but in the world it is very contradictory. And there is also one more important trend now. Very not so many companies, like very small amount of companies, they really hire junior engineers. That means that in 3-5 years, there will be no middle engineers, because those people who work as middle engineer will become seniors in 3-5 years, not more. And then middle engineers will just disappear. And those people who are senior engineers now, they will remain senior engineers, or they will just leave IT or become like CTO, or found their own business or something like this. And the number of engineers will be decreased. And probably this will create another trend when IT people, engineers will be welcome again. But we need to wait for this 3 to 5 years in different locations differently. And it is rather important. I see some questions. What are the main challenges you faced when moving from engineer to a mid-level position? It was so long ago, then my answer is irrelevant for now. I actually I have no experience of being a middle engineer, because I just jumped from intern to senior engineer in 2004, like more than 20 years ago. But it is irrelevant for you, because now the situation is totally different. Yes, but actually, what is important from my experience is I spent so much time understanding, reading algorithms, technology, like organizational, like communications, and so on and so on. And I really spent my whole working week, also Sunday, Saturdays, everything, my evenings, I spent just understanding, reading, and learning. This is what's important, and this is what you can take from my experience. It was like 3 or 4 years of total learning. How important is building a personal project portfolio? Oh, of course, it is very important. I will jump to it a little bit later. I will try to answer this from my presentation, like some examples from UK. It is not so irrelevant for you, but it is okay to look for a job for half a year. Yes, portfolio. You need to program, if you want to become an engineer, software engineer, even if you have no job, you need to program. You need to find to do some test tasks. You need to join some open source activities and like do your pull requests, commits, and so that you can show this to, and this should become your part of your CV. And it is like very important. You cannot be a software engineer if you do not write code, right? And this code should become more complex and clever. So pet projects, open source projects, everything, very important. What skills should beginners focus on in the first year to become more competitive on the job market? Technical skills, of course. They are specific to language or platform, front end, back end, and so on. But also you need to learn how to present yourself in your CV, on the screening interview with a recruiter, and you need to understand how to communicate with people. I think it is because this is two separate and independent skills. One skill is to solve technical problems, and another skill is to show that you can solve them, to sell yourself. They are not related to each other actually, but you need to master them both. I saw some people, some middle software engineers who could not find a job as a junior developer, but for like 6 months or so, but who could find a job after 2 months of searching a middle job, a middle engineer job. They just increased, they lightened their CV, they increased their years of experience from 0 to 2, and they were hired. It was very difficult for these guys during the first months of their job, but they managed to do this. They spent days and nights understanding what is required from them, and well, this is like a working example. I do not ask you to follow it, but this worked for these guys. So, and it is also a part of selling skill. It is important to graduate university in IT. I do not believe in university in IT. Actually, though I graduated from like Minsk University a long time ago, because most of universities, even in like very good universities in Europe or USA, they do not provide up-to-date technical knowledge. Because they are very slow, they do not react to the fast changing trends and market. They can teach you how to program, but they cannot teach you how to sell yourself most of the time, how to work in a team, and so on. So all engineers, even all architects except one, they have this imposter syndrome, even those who graduated and those who did not. And I think that it is not even a sign of being a good engineer that you graduated. So it's not important. You need to know specific technical things, and that's it. universities usually can give only the first very simple skills, and that's it. Okay, let's go further. AI. Engineers think that AI will replace their managers. Managers think that AI will replace engineer. The reality is AI is not replacing anybody in the IT. This changes in market trends, in labor market trends in IT, they are caused not by AI, but by other like circumstances. And one of them is that this IT bubble, which was growing from the 2000, it is now growing back. It is smaller and smaller now, and there are no such like big and free money for startups for now in the world, and that means that all the companies, they now think about effectiveness, productivity. They cannot invest a huge amount in different risky things and projects. And that means that this causes the going down for the whole market. But this is not about AI. AI sometimes helps engineers. If you create POCs, if you create MVPs, very simple. AI may help. Probably it will learn how to work with complex code and big code bases, but not yet, not yet. But of course, you need to understand how AI works. If you want to ask AI a proper prompt, you need to understand the fundamentals. How is network working? How is high-load systems working? How are specific technologies inside are working, and so on. And if you do not understand this, you cannot create a good prompt, and also you cannot verify the result. And you may try forever, and AI will not give you a good working result. So fundamentals, logic, reading exact meaning of every word, understanding the some details of technologies is the first step to work with AI. And after you can understand this, then you may go to ChatGPT or Anthropic Cloud or whatever, and ask a specific like task, ask a specific question, so ask to do a specific task, and this will lead to a very like useful code, because you can understand it, you can verify it. And sometimes if you do not understand some nuances, you can ask AI to explain to you, and you will learn from AI. But you need to understand to be an architect of your like project, of your code, of even your small method. Otherwise, it will not work. So this is the first fundamentals, then ask AI. If you do not get these fundamentals, AI will not help you. So build proof of work. AI may help you with your pet projects, with your portfolio, of course, but fundamentals are most important. Well, about the near future, I have already told you that in 3 to 5 years, middle engineers will like mostly disappear, and there will be less number of senior engineers than now, and probably it will be a window of possibility. But for now, the situation is not so like optimistic in the world. It's better in Kazakhstan, but not in the world. So any questions about AI or fundamentals or something like this? A question, do you think AI tools like ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot can really speed up a developer's learning process? If you already have these fundamentals, if you know the basics of architecture, of clean code, of everything, of some like technologies like in Java Spring Boot or in Python Flask or Django, or whatever, ChatGPT may help you with details, really. How this method works in reality, how I do this and this in Flask, for example. But you need to have your own base first, knowledge base in your head, so that you can ask ChatGPT specific questions. Otherwise, you will be just overwhelmed with ChatGPT answer, and you will have no possibility to verify it because you do not have appropriate knowledge, and this will lead you to to hell. But in a good scenario, if I ask to do something and I see the ChatGPT or another tool uses a method or approach which I do not understand, I can ask him, and probably he is right using this new approach. I just do not know this approach. Otherwise, he is not right, and I understand that he is wrong, and I can verify his approach. You need to verify everything which is given to you by LLMs. Next question. How can junior engineers stand out when applying for their first job in such a crowded market? It is a game of numbers, just statistics. You send 100 CVs, you probably get 2 or 4 replies, tests, like tasks or something like this. It is a game of numbers. Unfortunately, not everyone will get this first job in the next half a year. This is the reality. You need to compete, of course, even in Kazakhstan market. And of course, you need to compete much more heavily outside Kazakhstan. No warranty. How can someone find a good mentor or community to grow faster? Well, I can suggest the hard and soft skills community, the Telegram ID is here, but it is in Russian. You may post there in English something, and people will react. They are like, sometimes there are some people who want to become a mentor, and it is okay. And I am sure that there are a lot of communities in Kazakhstan also. Join them and ask. Also, there is LinkedIn, and you can like find 10 or 20 software engineers and write them directly in private messages and ask, I want to do this and this, I want to learn this and this. Please, could you help me? Could you give me advice? And also, and like 1 of 10 will reply and give some assistance. How was the job marketing for junior developers changed in the last few years? It was very difficult in 2020, and it became close to impossible now. I now speak about world job markets for juniors. For Kazakhstan, it is slightly better, but nevertheless, it is tough. It is really tough. So, one more question. Are there any AI tools that teach basic principles in a short way with practice? Do not take short ways. It will not lead you to to job actually. You need to understand all the approaches, all the differences, all the things. You need to get the fundamentals. They are not done by basic principles in a short way. They are done by changing your way of thinking, by different examples, by books. This is my answer. What is the average salary of a junior engineer? We can go just to my presentation with average salary. It is actually for middle, but there are some things even for juniors. They differ, of course, but you may find some, these are testing data in DevOps. You may find some examples on actually here. Okay, it is loading too slow. Actually, the reality is tough. You need to fight, you need to compete, and it is not so easy, but companies will hire a person who possesses the necessary knowledge. The level of knowledge is rather high. So if you go this way rather for a long time and learning and trying and not giving up, you will find something, but it will happen like in a year, for example. I'm not optimistic now. I'm not showing you like beautiful picture because I do not see this beautiful picture now. So there are some reports about tech in Kazakhstan market. It is increasing, it is growing, it is very good and optimistic. You might find this in my presentation. I will share this in the chat once more. Go through it to understand it better. You need to understand it because it is your native market. It is growing. It is very good. Also, there are Astana Almaty, of course, and there is some demand for engineers, but mostly not really juniors, but some more experienced, but sometimes they also hire juniors. This is about, yes, it is, okay. So, I would like you to depict an optimistic scenario, but it is not now. Sometimes you may have a possibility to join a company as an intern, to work for half a year for free, and then to become like junior and with some salary. And it is also a good way. And as an intern, as a non-paid intern, you need to work very hard to get this job, because if company allowed you to join them as an intern, that means that they see some potential in you and they will invest in your education, and they will explain and teach you. And this is their investment, and this is why they do not want to pay you, because they are just paying you with the time of their seniors. So what is in demand? Actually, these demand areas are not specific. Well, they do not differ from world demand: Python, Java, JavaScript, like front end, C#, PHP, AWS, of course, and cloud services, of course, AI as a tool, machine learning actually not so widespread, but nevertheless. Cybersecurity is a much less area, as also DevOps, and And of course, a very important skill for engineer now, for any engineer, for junior, for middle, for senior, for architect, is understanding business. Because now companies do not want to pay money to product owners or managers. They hire less product owners for now. And engineers should understand the business domain, the problems of the business, and try to solve the problems of the business. It is very important. I spent only this phrase, but it is extremely important. Understanding business. Okay. So since Kazakhstan is growing rapidly in tech, you have a window of possibilities. So join open source projects, join companies like as interns, join companies as juniors if you have a possibility, find your communities, find your friends, find some mentors, and try to stick to your first company. It is also probably like an idea, you may find some mentors, like 3 mentors or 4 mentors from 3 or 4 companies. Spend some time with them. They teach you, they mentor you, and they probably could reference you when this company needs a junior. Okay, a question from Vlad. What do companies usually expect from mid-level developers? The requirements for mid-level developers are also growing. Basics of system design, basics of databases, SQL, of course, this is for backend. Actually, to answer this question, I would suggest you to go to the site and to browse applications for middle level, because I do not know the exact specific of Kazakhstan market, and I can tell you wrong things. This is job postings are the best source of truth for such questions. They are very exact. Middle full stack, middle front end, middle full stack, middle full stack, office. Where is the job posting? Actually, I do not see it. Oh, okay. Can you recommend some career orientation tests to help me choose an IT direction? Test. Well, first of all, I do not trust tests. They are designed for a very limited number of options. I suggest you to read different articles, how to choose, and I suggest you to understand what do you like more, to create things and make them beautiful, to test and break things. And these are about backend, front end, and SQA. Try to do some projects in backend, in front end, for example, full stack, and you will understand. And actually, frankly speaking, for now, at the beginner level, you do not have like a context to choose. So you do not, even if I explain you what are the exact nuances here and here and here, you have no possibility to grasp it, to understand it. Sorry. So just start with some pet projects. Take like Python as backend or JavaScript if you like also front end. and begin. And then you will see different projects. You will go with this path and you will see more and more, and you will have a possibility to choose because you will understand this is like about this technology, this is about these tasks, and I like this more and this less, and so on. So do not, very general advice, do not follow fast answers. Do not follow. Find these answers inside yourself, what you like most, what you want most, what is your motivation, but do not listen to outside advice. This is my advice for you. Okay. Okay, challenges. Okay, challenges. Actually, so for now, joining IT is a long and challenging task. You need to be very competitive. You need to spend much time programming, even it is pet projects or open source projects. Also on, you need to find mentors. This is not so easy, but anyway, if you are consistent and if you have a possibility to spend half a year or year learning and practicing, then your chances increase, and probably you can join a company. Okay, generative AI. Do not allow AI lead you. Learn fundamentals. Kazakhstan booming tech sectors, tech sector use, of course. AI is only a tool, not a leader for you. It is never a leader. Adaptability. Any questions for now, because I have finished my presentation. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your attention. So as I understand, I have replied to all the questions. I spent not so much time for mid-level because, as I understand, most questions are at the beginner level. I remember only one question about the requirements to mid-level in Kazakhstan, but the site is better than my opinion. Okay. So if you do not have questions, this means I'm done with the presentation.
Thank you, Pavel, for the lecture, and thanks to our audience for being active. We're happy to have this lecture today, and we hope that you will come again to Terrican Valley. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.
Bye. Good luck.